Hello and greetings, everybody out there in YouTube land. It is your buddy ChopTalk coming at you with another episode of Chop Talk, brought to you by the one, the only DFSArmy.com, your one-stop shop for all things NFL, PGA, MLB, whatever it is you want to play. We've got it covered with over 20 coaches, 40 on staff, 1,600 members, tweeting upwards of 50, 60,000 messages in our Slack channels all day long, 24/7, chatting back and forth about DFS and making you a better player, doing what they can to help and suggest opinions to you. Now, we have other opinions that are weighted higher than others, staff, coaches, etc. But really and truly, everybody's just trying to help everybody out. That's what we have built. We have built the best DFS community. Now, since you're staring at the woman feeding her kids chicken tenders dipped in soda, I won't belabor the point, but I mean, what the hell is that, dude? Seriously. I mean, she's easy on the eyes and all, but man, don't be feeding that crap to me for dinner when I come home from a long day of work. That said, let's dive into the MLB stuff. I showed you the Twitter page, so you know where to find me at ChopTalk. You can also like and subscribe to the channel down below. Comment section has the link to become a VIP, DFSArmy.com. And of course, you use the coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P, to become a VIP at a 10% discount. That's what we're doing. Week 1 is here. NFL is here. You're going to see that. So I've got my wishbone released already. If I click my Twitter profile, I can certainly show you that. It is pinned right up here. Slate breakdown article. We'll do a video for that a little bit later in the week when things kind of hash out a little bit better. This was just a first look. A lot of other content linked inside that article too that will constantly be updating throughout the week for you. So bookmark that page and come back to it. Let's dive into baseball and let's show you what's up for today's 15-game full Tuesday slate. All teams are in play on that prime slate, that main slate. And what we have is September call-ups. I hate this time of year, I got to be honest. Football's starting. I'm excited. I'm holding on to baseball because I'm committed to baseball. But to be quite honest with you, we'll probably go video format. Not going to be a lot of chin music coming out from here on out because really and truly, I can just show you the numbers from here. Throw it out on Twitter a couple times a day. Hopefully you find it, you like it, you listen to it. What we're going to do is what we always do, start with K percentage in our pitchers. And we find right up here at the top, Trevor May with 27 total batters faced. That's September. I don't know. I'm not going to dig into the guy too much, to be honest with you. I'm going to stick largely with what I know. Robbie Ray, Stanek, I don't even know why he shows up on this thing anymore. But he is not a starter. He's a reliever. Robbie Ray, Verlander, Hill, you know, again, Hendricks, low number of batters faced. Lucchese's kind of okay. Clevenger, don't know so much about the spot that he's in facing Kansas City on a low strikeout number. Should lower his ceiling a little bit tonight. We can keep going down the list. Marquez has been hot lately, but man, he grades out bad. It's funny how that works. You're going to want to dig into that, take a chance on that. Trevor Richards is a cheap GPP type pick tonight with a huge K score for his price. 22.4, 25.4 makes it a 47.8, 478 for Trevor Richards. That is decent for 6,600. What you're also going to want to do, though, is you're going to want to take what you get. So when we scroll up a little bit, we find Lucchese at a 485. He's cheap. He's very, very risky. Rich Hill, 9,200. 535 K score. That's massive. That is absolutely massive. Justin Verlander priced up on Draftkings. We've got the gap there. Facing Minnesota, 11,000 is awfully expensive. I'd pay down to Rich Hill in a heartbeat. 507 K score. Rich Hill's is better at 535. Robbie Ray, 8,700. Been a little up and down, of course. 556 monster K score. 239. 317 adds up to 556. Nasty. He's got the upside, there's no doubt about it. You need to look through his game logs and look at his last few starts and see how he plays against San Diego Padres to see what kind of floor he has. Because just like we're focused on in football right now, we need to always be focused on who has a floor but who also has a ceiling. Baseball's a little tricky in that regard because everybody has a floor of 0. Everybody has a ceiling of 25 or 30 or more. A little harder to figure out the consistency because that channel of points they run in is just so doggone wide open. That said, you can find more consistent players than others, and we're going to want some form of consistency before we go chasing a guy that we know hasn't been right much of this year. Pitchers, basically, that's where I'm stuck. If I look at the Vegas odds, Robbie Ray is a minus 170. Verlander is a minus 300. That line came out. Rich Hill is a minus 220. I'm stuck on Rich Hill today. I just am. He's the safest option. Decent price, not too high, not too bad. 535 K score is a whopper. 220 out of Vegas is very steady. A 90 DFSA grade inside our research station is also outstanding. He's checking all the boxes. That's where I would go. In GPPs, I wouldn't mind taking some shots. I'd look into Marquez a little bit, but Rich Hill feels safer. Trevor Richards is something I would definitely entertain at 6,600. He doesn't need a lot, and the 485 or 478 K score shows me that it is possible. Now, if we ran the slate 100 times, 30, 40 times maybe, it's not going to hit all the time. It's not going to hit the majority of the time. That's why he's not a cash safe pitcher. Let's run down 3 stars today instead of all 5 stars. The 3 stars we look for, low DFSA grades. So we sort that off, descending maybe. Scroll down a little bit. We'll take up to the 40s here to get a few guys in there. So up to Jason Vargas. And we're looking at LA Dodgers, Detroit, Arizona, Cleveland, St. Louis, Chicago as our first set of parameters. First box checked for weak pitching. Sort by descending here for opponent runs. You got 5.8 all the way down. We got a few over a 5, down to say the 4.9. So let's go down to Mike Minor. Then we've got Colorado, Cleveland, Texas, Chicago White Sox, Seattle, LA Angels. You want to throw some of these offenses in, fine. But I'm just trying to draw the line somewhere. And then, of course, we go to the double red and we go to the WOBA. Sort by right-handed WOBA. Come all the way down here to where the pink disappears. And you're looking somewhere around Marquez, Porcello. These guys are kind of struggling against both. There's a lot of double reds if you really want to include it down here and take the 315, 316s. Because a 313 versus lefties, if that's pink here, it should kind of be pink here. So if you want to include some of those guys, that's great. But I started with Marquez and Cobb. And I came up with San Francisco Giants, Seattle, Dodgers, Cubs, and all the way up at the top, St. Louis. And so when I write the list down, it's easy to see. Dodgers are on 2 lists. Cleveland's on 2 lists. Chicago, 2 lists. St. Louis, 2 lists. Seattle, 2 lists. I don't have anyone on all 3. So I don't really have just a lock and load offense that I really want to focus on. And again, baseball being incredibly volatile, it's hard to do that anyway. But I've got a lot of 2-star offenses. LA, Cleveland, St. Louis, Chicago, Seattle. Those are the teams I'd be focused on when I kick over to the Trends tab. And again, I would focus over here on the WOBAs, and I would make them go to 350 or greater. If you really want to go nuts, come over here to the ISOs, sort them to 2 or 220 or greater. And you really narrow down your pool to who's running the hottest, who's really hitting for a high WOBA, and who's also hitting for a nice high ISO with a lot of power. Those are the guys that you want to be focused on. I left it off just for player pool size alone. We're going to focus on those offenses. I'll show you the playables. That doesn't mean you can't sift through there. Once you're a VIP, you get the controls of this thing yourself. You get to start the engine and drive the car yourself. So if you want to play around with something like this, you need to be a VIP. LA Dodgers, Turner, Machado, Kiki Hernandez. I don't think Verdugo's going to get the start. Cleveland, Encarnacion, Kipnis. As a team, not running so hot. Lots of these guys under the 350 mark, apparently. Great spot. Great matchup. I would love to see their bats running hotter. St. Louis is another one that worries me, to be honest with you. St. Louis facing Washington, they're not scoring a ton of runs. They just lost a series to Cincinnati. Just dropped the first game to Washington, probably because their bats aren't kicking in and their pitching, coughed up a couple of games. Not the end of the world for a St. Louis fan like myself, but to be quite honest with you, I would use a lot of caution with them if the team is going south. They were so hot for so long maybe they're starting to cool off. When I start looking at some of these numbers, these guys are ascending for sure. But if I unlocked that or cleared that L7, I'd see a lot of them with high, 30 and 14-day WOBAs and then coming off of it in the 7. And that's an indicator to me that they're starting to come down to earth. They're starting to cool off. They're starting to normalize again. The hot streak's starting to wear off. That tells me, in a lot of cases, as you get hotter, and sustain that hot run, your price comes up on the fantasy sites. And once it dips off that peak and starts going back down to where it should be, your production, your WOBA, the price does not ever come down as fast as it came up with you. So you're overpriced for what you're doing right now. Doesn't mean you can't have a good game. They're obviously in a good spot. It just means use a little caution. Chicago White Sox, that's a team that was running cold a month ago, but has turned it on somewhat the past, say, couple of weeks. We should see a lot of ascending numbers. Not too many, but you would think you'd see a lot of ascending numbers in a situation like that. Maybe from the 30 to the 50-day, or 30 to 14-day, they're all ascending. They were cold a month ago. They've been hot for a couple of weeks or been running better for a couple of weeks. And that's what you're going to tend to see. Now, it doesn't mean that a 250 to a 288 means that the dude's running hot. It means the 360 is playable. When I see the, 469, that's pretty hot. And the 414 is holding on to it pretty good. The 565 is hot. The 497 is holding on to it pretty good. I would be playing, Rizzo Baez types over, maybe a Lastea if he gets a start, over a Contreras or a Happ. But I might use these guys as the hotter focal points of the offense. Especially if I'm building stacks. But those are your playables there. Looking at Seattle, they had a few good games recently. I have not timed them right all year. I don't know how you do. Some teams you just time right, some teams you just don't. And for whatever it is, I can't get on Seattle correctly. I can play the numbers all I want, but they seem to go against the numbers on me more times than not, which that's a confirmation bias or a recency bias sort of thing. You have to keep that kicked out of your mind. When the numbers show good spots, you play them. Because if you play good numbers over a long stretch of time, you're going to get good results, period, end of story. Haniger, Healy, Segura. We're really not seeing a lot of teams running super hot for now. Maybe if we clicked on Chicago White Sox, we would see something like that. Well, there's 4 guys. Maybe Houston. There's 4 guys. Maybe Arizona. Maybe Boston. There's 5 guys. So you're going to see a little bit better signs out of some of these guys, but they're just not quite in a strong enough matchup. Now, Newcomb's not exactly phenomenal all the time, so Boston can touch him up and get to him. But that's more of a GPP type pick because we've got no indicators in implied runs out of Vegas, struggling WOBA with the pitcher, bad DFSA grade based on all of the matchup parameters in pitcher. We don't have enough of those indicators telling us that Boston's in a smash spot, but it is Boston. Boston can light anybody up for 5, 6, 7 runs in a given night. And more consistently than a Kansas City. Obviously, Kansas City can do it too, but Boston's going to do it more often, especially in tougher matchups. So you save that for more of your GPP type theories and your GPP type stuff if that's what you're going to do today. I show you the fundamental. I kind of show you the core. I kind of show you a limited player pool, places to start that are good, fundamentally solid places to start. That should be obviously plus matchups. And then it's your job to branch out from there. If you need our research tool to do it, you come in, you become a VIP inside DFS Army, you unlock that. You unlock the research tool for the NFL, for PGA, for MMA. We have it for everything. Optimized lineups do the same thing. You can tweak projections yourself, play with them up, down, pull different guys forward. You want to see more Mike Trout in your lineup, jack his percentage from 14 points to 18 points, and you'll see him everywhere. You're tricking the optimizer into showing you the players that you want to see. Yeah, that puts your own human bias in there, but to be quite honest with you, that's the way I've always played. I use the optimizer to show me different combinations of my players, and then I'm going to pick from that. I'm not going to use the optimizer to shut my brain off and then just throw me a bunch of players that by a computer supposedly are going to do well. That kind of thinking, you'll never grow as a DFS player. You'll never get better. You'll always be relying on numbers. And maybe that's fine. You've only got 30 minutes when you get home from work to throw some lineups in so you can watch some baseball today. That's fine if that's your game. But generally speaking, the DFS Army is geared towards making you a better player, and you're not going to be a better player if you're completely reliant on the system, on the computer. You need to come in here. You need to get to know the coaches. You need to find the coaches excuse me, you need to find the coaches that help you out and talk a little bit more along your lines of expertise. And from there, excuse me, geesh, from there you can definitely grow as a player and get better. Take my last little sip of coffee there and hopefully wash whatever that was down. Not a professional radio host, folks. You get what you get. Bottom line is that's what we're centered around as coaches. We're trying to make you a better player. We're trying to bring you in, show you the tools, show you the content, show you the optimizers, all the tools that can help make you a better player if you study and grow and start to use them to their fullest potential to bring out your fullest potential. That's what we do inside the DFS Army. Click the link at the bottom of the comments section, dfsarmy.com. Use coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P. I'm going to go refill my coffee because my voice may be coming back, but golly, that was crazy. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for liking the channel. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. You guys are the best. We're growing a community out here. We're also growing a community inside dfsarmy.com where I'm a content editor and one of the senior writers and senior staff. So thanks again for helping support the cause. Come inside, see us, talk to us more inside there. We can spend a lot more time helping you become a better player. I will see you guys tomorrow with more chin music, and we're going to keep pumping the NFL slate because week 1 is the most exciting time of the year. It's just like the week before Christmas. Let's go, guys. Let's go get that money.